I want to start by just giving some tips that I use on learning harmony vocal parts. And the first one is when I'm playing or listening to the tune. Okay, so first thing I do is I set a loop around the section of the song that I want to learn. So I try to always show people this feature here because I just think it's a really valuable tool. It's a free tool. This is going to be able to set a loop.
I would never go. I don't know what changed my mind. Told me I was a random kind of love I can't explain that I had for Nelly Kane. I don't.
So by clicking those, I loop the section, and then I often like to listen to it at a reduced speed so I can hear some of the intricacies.
Know what changed my mind. Told me I was a random kind of love I can't explain that I had for Nelly Kane. I don't know.
So as I'm listening to these, I'm trying to get more of the contour. I'm usually giving my attention to one part at a time. And a big recommendation I have as well is whenever you're doing this kind of work, if you can, using headphones is always better because a lot of vocal harmony is recorded in stereo, and so you have the lead vocal when you have headphones or speakers. Obviously, if you have two stereo speakers, you're going to hear the lead vocals are going to be more prominent than they would be in a mono system, and then you're going to hear the lower and higher harmony part at kind of panned, and sometimes they're panned on one side, so you can kind of put one ear over the other and hear one part louder. Not always true, but very true that at least the lead vocal is panned in the center. It's going to be more prominent with stereo speakers, and then the harmony vocals are going to be more panned to the right or the left for the most part. So that's a recommendation I just have in general about learning vocal harmony, but also that could also apply to sometimes mandolin and fiddle is done the same way. But anyway, that's another thing I want to mention is this particular recording has two parts. So we'll listen to a part with three as well, but I like to listen to multiple recordings. Some of them will have the melody really prominent so that you can learn the melody note for note. Some of them will have melody in one other part where you could either focus on that second part without the third part like bothering you, or you could try to sing the third part or try to imagine what the third part might be, right? So there's all sorts of advantages to listening to different recordings.
What changed my mind. Told me I was a random kind of love I can't explain that I had for Nelly Kane.
Okay, so I want us to listen to a three-part version of that song now and see if you can identify some of the changes. With two-part harmony, oftentimes they can drift a little bit farther apart from each other and do a little bit more intricate things. And three-part harmony, you kind of have to squish things a little bit more together to make the three parts work. So let's listen to that now. Or just in general, working on vocals. Oftentimes if it's early or if I don't want to strain my voice as I'm learning a part, I'll change the key of the song.
Maybe she had waited for him as long as a woman can, long as a woman can. I don't know what changed my mind. Till then I was a rambling kind of love I can't explain that I had for Nelly Kane.
So I set the loop there, and then I'm going to reduce the speed. Now, I want to say something really quickly about Hot Rise in particular. I have spoken with a lot the members about their feelings on vocal harmony, and they have this kind of every band had a different feeling on how the harmony should be balanced, like which should be highest in the mix. Like in Bill Monroe's band, he wanted to be the loudest, and he sang tenor. So he would be louder than the melody. That's what kind of how he liked it. In some bands, they like all the parts to be equal. In Hot Rise in particular, they really like the melody and the tenor to be almost neck and neck. Melody maybe a little louder. And then the baritone part, they were really particular about, like, you should never even be able to really hear the baritone part as an independent part. It should just be a feeling. That's the way that they described it. So that being said, it is very difficult to hear this baritone part in here, but it is there, and you can hear it better with headphones. I'm using these terms baritone and tenor. You know, I think everybody on this call right now is familiar with that, with the baritone being the lower, harmony part, and the tenor being the higher harmony part.
I don't know what changed my mind. Till then I was a rambling kind of love I can't explain that I have for Nellie Kane. I don't know what changed my mind. Till then I was a rambling kind of love I can't explain that I have for Nellie Kane.
All right. So some quick notes on what's going on here. This particular key, this is the key of E. So some people do this song in E, some people do it in D. You can do it in G or A if you've got like sort of the opposite vocal register. This is three men singing together with a standard stack of the lead singer in the middle, one singer singing above the tenor part, and the other singer singing the baritone. So it's like a sandwich. That's the traditional vocal harmony stack in bluegrass music, sort of established by Bill Monroe. That stack was kind of broken by groups like the Osborne Brothers, where they had Bobby Osborne had a really high voice, so he would sing the melody on top, and then you'd have the regular baritone part, and that high tenor part was sung an octave lower because no one could sing higher than Bobby in that band. So they sang that stack was different. And that's often a stack where you have two men and one woman in a band or in a jam. That works really well. The woman sings the lead part, there's a man singing the baritone part, and then the tenor beneath. So in this scenario, if we had two men and one woman with this stack, you'd probably either have the melody in the middle and then the tenor here, and then the baritone part being sung by the woman twice as high. That's called a high baritone part, the same note twice as high or an octave higher. Or you could have usually in the speaking registers, right around the speaking register, for a woman to sing tenor to a male lead singer. So that's probably going to be pretty easy to find those notes. But anyway, so the different stacks, the different combinations of genders / vocal registers is going to determine what stack you do. But the standard, because most bands were homogeneous gender early on, was like a sandwich stack with, because that makes sense for three genders to kind of like all be in the same vocal register or vocal range. Awesome. Well, I want to, wrap up in the last couple minutes just mentioning, just kind of in review of a bunch of the things we mentioned. So the first being this isolated pitch practice. So if you're really trying to test yourself on how well you know a part, sing it a cappella out of rhythm, separate notes. You could use an instrument to help guide you or help kind of solidify the part. That's a good strategy. So that kind of sounds like, I don't know what changed my mind. Till then I was the rambling kind. So really kind of blocky, just focusing on the pitch. That's a great strategy. The second strategy I gave you is making sure that we get the rhythm. So that's like tapping the beat and making sure that we're getting the same rhythms as the singer. The closer you are to the lead singer, the more interesting it'll sound. So instead of simplifying, it's like, I don't know, it's I don't know. So you can just sing or speak the words on that. I don't know what changed my mind. Till then I was the rambling kind. Right? You get more of a sense of that kind of love that's not syncopated. I can't explain that I have for Nellie Kane. Right? So that's the rhythm thing. We got the pitch thing. We got the rhythm thing. And also you want to test at any point, whether it's finding your starting pitch or correcting a doubling error. You want to use that method of playing the chord that's happening in that moment, finding the melody, I don't know, and then doing a siren from there to find the next one? No. Or no. So that's a really important strategy in finding a pitch and correcting pitch doubling, if that happens. And then the few things that I said in the beginning were when we're practicing these parts, we want to slow them down, loop them, put a loop on with the Transpose app, slow them down maybe 20 or 30%. And if we use headphones, it's a big advantage because the recordings are often recorded in stereo, with the lead part being centered and louder than the other two, and then the baritone and the tenor being panned a little bit to the right and the left. So we get a better sense of isolation of the parts when we listen either through headphones or through stereo speakers. It's more likely that most people will be working, if you really were kind of taking the effort to hear the parts easily, it's probably headphones would be the way to go in terms of hearing those things. So make sure to check out that method too. Headphones are really helpful. And that's pretty much a summation of what we were looking at this class. The Bluegrass Harmony Vocal School provides a framework for gaining confidence and ease in the area of harmony singing. Bluegrass standards are recorded in 8 different tracks, which include the isolated baritone, tenor, lead, and accompaniment, as well as every combination of these. This makes learning harmony singing quick, fun, and simple. Just listen to your part on its own as often as you need to, and then try to hold that part against the melody or 2 other different harmony parts. Included as well are tips and tricks for bluegrass singing, including how to find your starting note, bluegrass harmony explained, style, resonance, and ear training, and how to find the right key for your voice using easy transposition software. You can also submit videos for my feedback or have them transformed into fun multi-track videos. Join the Harmony Vocal School if you're looking to bring your singing to the next level. Or if you're in a band looking to arrange songs in a way that's more satisfying and exciting. Or if you're just looking to add something special and unique to your jamming experience. My name's Austin Scelzo, and I hope you'll consider joining me.